Welcome, I'll be reacting to Outlander, Season 6, Episode 4. This is not a market substitute, please support the original. Finally, Ian backstory. I've been waiting so long. Oh, there she is. I assume that's her.
Henceforth, you will be called Aguajo. Lucia. Wolf's brother.
Oh, because of Rolo.
Greased lightning, huh?
What? Who?
Me. Oh, were you not thunderstruck there at the end?
What did I?
Jamie, such a dad joke.
I'll try my best.
When you're finished in Cross Creek, pay a visit to Anjacasta. She'll be pleased with the company.
I know what you're doing.
Giving him something to do that he knows he's good at.
I will heal.
With time.
Thank you, my lord. For everything. I hit it!
You've been practicing.
I ken well what governments are capable of.
8,000 of them will die.
Sio, Hilali.
I love scenes where they're just pulling weapons out and putting them away. My favorite trope is when they're like, no, all your weapons, and then the character pulls something ridiculously large out of like nowhere. It just makes me happy. Who knows why? The Mohawk are here?
What is it, lad? Mohawk. Sagon. Ogohologia. Couldn't they pronounce her name properly? So I called her Emily. Made her laugh.
Why how wet?
Why young, how they?
Oguajo. Wolf. My clan.
Oh, beautiful. Oh.
Will you choose another? We do not choose, Ogohologia. They choose. Why, oh my good man, lie sound by me.
Do you ever miss your home?
This is my home.
You are my home. Blessed Michael defend us. I must be with her.
It is for the women to help her now. Be still.
If you must do something, go to the woods and pray. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Jesus, if the Mohawk creator is up there, please. She lives. My child. I never saw her. The bairn. We'd already wrapped her up. We buried her in furs.
I'm heartsick for you, lad.
Jamie lost faith. He understands what it's like to lose a child. This show, it just really gets to you sometimes. I just had to take a few minutes there. Okay, I think I'm good.
It wasn't meant to be.
Oh no, not again.
Everything changed.
The Creator tells us that for a woman to conceive, the man's spirit must do battle with hers and overcome it.
There must be something I can do.
Return to your own people. Among them, your spirit will be strong.
No.
She basically divorced him. But she was in so much pain. You? You were his friend.
It is what must be. Go.
When Claire and Jamie were going through this, They almost came to this position as well, but they chose to carry it together. The pain. But I can't really blame her either. To lose 2 children like that, can't even imagine.
Should I have fought harder for her?
Seems you fought as hard as you could.
You respected her choice.
Alexander Cameron.
The one they call Scotchy.
Aye. There was a time.
You're the agents to the Overhill Cherokee, you know.
You also said you might have brought some whiskey.
Aye. Some of my last good barrels. Care for a wee dram, would you?
1 dram becomes 2, becomes 3. Acquired land in Tennessee. Bought from the Overhill Cherokee.
King made a promise to the Indians not to settle beyond the treaty line.
But if the Indians choose to sell, then that's a different matter, eh? It is inevitable this push west. Damn Mohawk came along. If they hear of it, they'll cause an uproar and ruin my deal.
The settlers were part of the problem and what sparked, from what I understand, the pushback and the reason that the Cherokee in that area sided with the British. And we have that here. So they're kind of leaving crumbs, as it were, for likely future plot points.
Now, I can't easily operate on someone and give them ether at the same time, but Malva, as my apprentice, she needs to practice. Place it gently on her face. 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
When are you going to begin?
We did it, Lizzie. It's over. You've been fast asleep.
It was similar for me when I had my wisdom teeth out. I felt like I just went out and then it was 1 or 2 seconds passed and I was awake. It is such a weird sensation. Oh, that looks like a good meal.
Promise of loyalty as well. I desire that as much as they do.
Do you?
Today is a day of celebration. Let's have no talk of war.
It stole her hand. Let's hear that story around the fire. Shall we? How you saw one man's happiness and wanted it for yourself.
Oh no.
Hey, Lodgen, no.
We'll do it my way. Find yourself a pistol. Meet me back here.
No. Oh dear. We don't need dueling. I mean, I like dueling, but this was not a good reason for it. He just wants the Mohawk gone because he's greedy.
God granted him a son, but took my wee girl. But to me, she was Isabel. Is it my fault she's gone?
God doesn't punish. He's gracious.
If that's true, then where is she? Can I bear the thought of Isabel wandering, lost?
My daughter, Faith. She was also lost. I never held her either. At the end of life comes death. And after death, we come home to the Lord. How long the first shall last, we cannot say. We shall ask my daughter to look for yours in heaven. Again, she will find her there.
Outlander. This is why I no longer bother wearing eyeliner when watching Outlander, because this happens. Is he going to act as second?
It is my uncle's weapon. Finest there is.
If I die, go to her. Swear you'll go to her. Care for her. For them.
You're gonna be fine. You haven't had whiskey. You have a better aim.
Are those who see in dreams what is to come.
Aha.
Both my wife and my daughter have seen something concerning your people. The path they tread will be called
trail where they wept.
Who did this?
A man named Winfield Scott. My daughter says, General, you should not go to this new place or fight. But when the time comes, your people must hide.
Oh.
If you pass this warning to your descendants, then perhaps they will escape and live.
Even if he could only save a few people, that's a few people, and that's worth it. That was a risk, but yeah, I'm glad Jamie tried to do that.
4, 5. Ready?
He turned early.
They are brothers, even after all this. He'll fire in the air.
Don't shoot her. He's proven himself a coward. Let him live with his shame. Gahe Lodun.
Yeah, give back the bracelet.
God chose you to be with her.
Oh, that's huge. That's going to be healing for Ian as well. Now he can let her go.
I know now I can be both.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can.
I've been known by many names, lad.
I'm glad that they got that resolved. And now he can really feel at home here, too.
You're not afraid of much, though. Are you, Lizzie?
I think she's going to be with this twin. Team Kezzy. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Well, mainly recipes for medicines, but also surgical notes.
Why do you do these drawings and write down how you took off a toe with frost rot and the like?
So that others can benefit from what I've learned.
I'll tell them I've had a look in your wee book, and there's nothing by way of spells in it.
Oh, I see what you're up to, Claire.
Back a day later than I expected.
I can't be two things at once, Claire. A rebel, a loyalist.
Right, but this could be helpful. I mean, if we had a spy on the inside. Hercules Mulligan!
Spying on the British government, I take the measurements, information, and then I smuggle it to my brother's revolutionary covenant.
Jamie Fraser!
I feel a wee bit more tired this time.
Oh no! Her father's not gonna like that. I really feel for Ian, what he went through, and then what his adopted family had to deal with as well, because he was taken away from them. It looked like he had really fit in, and one of his friends told him, like not everyone agreed with sending Ian away. It's like there was a severing and a betrayal on both sides. And I like that they combined the flashbacks with an episode where Ian found sort of a kind of peace with what had happened, found a way to forgive. He's been struggling this entire season, not really able to be himself, constantly wishing he could change things to be accepted. Also having a crisis of faith, blaming God, which is, easy to do in that kind of situation. Not sure what he believes, but I feel like he's coming back to the Ridge with a better understanding of who he is, and also on the first stage of healing. And from what we've seen, he's basically spent most of his time on the Ridge just kind of puttering around, hunting and moping, basically, for obvious reasons. He had every right to do that. But I think now that he has more clarity of purpose and self, he's going to find something to do. I don't know what exactly, but it's going to be something. I'm excited to see where he goes. And then we have here Jamie saying, you know what, I can't handle being two people at once. I am not cut out for pretending to be loyal when I'm not. And despite the fact that it looks like the Browns will be taking over most likely for the agent, he's now officially choosing the colonists' side, and I assume on his path to joining the rebels. So I guess next steps in the story, we'll see him trying to reach out see what he can do, because we do have the early stirrings of the American Revolution right now, so I'm sure there's people that he can go contact. And Brianna seems to remember more than Claire about this history, probably because she grew up in America, went to American schools. So she might recall some good people for Jamie to talk to, maybe. And then in addition to all this, we have our young nurse apprentice learning a little bit more than she probably should be, and then having such a curious mind that she's going to get into a lot of trouble with her brother and father for different reasons. Because we saw earlier that her brother disagreed with how her father treats her. So even though they're two different personalities who often clash, I don't think either of them is good for her. So that'll be interesting. I think next episode is going to be kind of the Gathering Storm storyline, where all the chess pieces are kind of placed on the board and positioned. Possibly at the end we'll get a little bit of the American Revolution stirrings going on, a little bit of conflict. Maybe on the ridge itself between different groups. We shall see.